My BioBits Project is on the passenger pigeon. The passenger pigeons were a species of pigeons that lived in North America. Their numbers were so large that it was in the billions. People say that their numbers were so large that they used to cover the sky when they flew over certain areas. It is also claimed that the sky was covered in birds for hours. They lived in the Great Plains and the Atlantic coast. They are also found north of Mississippi and south of Canada. Passenger pigeons needed large forests to live in because they had huge numbers. The passenger pigeon became extinct on September 1st, 1914. The last known pigeon named Martha died at the Cincinnati Zoo at the age of 29. Passenger pigeons were overhunted to the point where they were not even able to reproduce fast enough. The passenger pigeons were vulnerable because they flew in large flocks, which made it easy for hunters to shoot them out of the sky. Hunters would often shoot these birds out of the sky and sell their meat to markets. Because the passenger pigeon had such large numbers, this made it easier for hunters to trap them with nets. Nests were destroyed by hunters, and because of this, passenger pigeons were not able to reproduce. Trees that were inhabited by passenger pigeons were burned by hunters. Poison was also another tactic that hunters used to kill passenger pigeons. Passenger pigeons started to migrate in the late summer. They moved to the northern forest to find food. As fall approached, they shifted their direction and went to southern areas. They traveled in large flocks and scared off enemies using their size. As the birds migrated, they would often compete with other animals for food. Forests where passenger pigeons settled in were destroyed for farmland. They were forced to leave the area because they needed a place to nest. The passenger pigeons' food supply started to decrease rapidly. This caused passenger pigeons to find a new source of food. They started to use the grain fields of farmers. Farmers began to shoot the passenger pigeons and use their meat to either sell or eat. In 2012, the Long Now Foundation started a plan to bring the passenger pigeon back to life by using molecular biology. The band-tailed pigeon, a relative of the passenger pigeon, was used to try and change its genome into the genetic code of the passenger pigeon. Scientists believed that if it looked and acted like the bird, they would classify them as passenger pigeons. Researchers are continuing to find ways to bring the passenger pigeon back to life and hope to breed the birds and return them into the wild in the 2030s. Some scientists believe that the animal cannot be classified as a passenger pigeon. Passenger pigeons relied heavily on their huge numbers because it gave them an advantage. According to other scientists, the passenger pigeon will not survive because they needed huge numbers to be able to survive. Without the same number of passenger pigeons that once thrived in the 19th century, this species would not be able to survive in the wild. Other scientists think it would cause damage to the ecosystem. The passenger pigeon was once a species that thrived throughout North America. Their flocks were in the millions, and over the years, these numbers reduced rapidly. Because of overhunting and habitat destruction, this species is now extinct.